Greetings, choices, all about the choices, love or fear here for Taurus, October 10th through the 17th of 2020, your love and relationship reading for the week. This could be a partnership, like an intimate partnership, marriage, whatever. It could also be a situation, circumstance, friend, or simply be about yourself. Love is not exclusive to intimate relationship. It starts with the self. So it could be that you are going through a process of transformation, a growth, a rebirth, or you have something within yourself to heal that is the most kind and compassionate thing towards self, to love self, to work through that. So I've seen all sorts, from divine connections, divine masculine and feminine, to strictly a two-part reading for one, an extension from one to the other of healing. So there wasn't an other. The structure of the reading is I will look at your overall energy and what is going on in your love energy, your fear, inner and outer. And then I will also look at what you are connecting with, be it a person, a situation, a family member, or what have you. And it will be the same energies I am looking at for both, as far as the love, the fear, the inner, the outer, connecting energies between those, for guidance, for a happier, more abundant you and potentially them for the situation. So this is really about guidance into love for self first, love in relationship, regardless of the type of relationship, second, as it should be. At the end of the reading, I will pull an oracle card for you, Taurus. I do read from the book, as the messages can be pretty intense, but what is received by you may resonate differently in certain parts and pieces. So I don't want anyone to miss any of the nuances as the descriptions are in the book. I feel like there's value in that. So first, to get the overall energy for you, Taurus, and then I will begin looking into your energy and then your person or situation, whatever it is you are connecting to. Hey, I'm getting a little faster at this. I don't have a scripted intro, so for Taurus, what is the overall energy? Totality. It's an amazing card. That is about, there's a trust card in here, and it's kind of like trust, but it's a different type of trust. It's trusting that everything will be fine, that you are protected, you are safe, that whatever it is you are experiencing is exactly what it's supposed to be. To let go of the control and trusting that those around you are not going to let you fall. So there's kind of almost an emptiness, being in total unity to move and flow with the process as it's occurring. To not trust here. Well, you can imagine. Those are trapeze artists. And there's a trust in self and an acceptance of what is the movement, the motion, the flow. Allowing everything to work together and the outcome be exactly as it's supposed to be, which is nobody falls. You're the first one that I felt called to do an interpretation before actually getting into the reading. So that must be an important message for someone. that maybe there is a situation, circumstance, relationship in which there is not enough trust in the process and in those around and in self. And so there continues to be this falling and crashing and burning. And that is really only something, this isn't really, that sense of trust isn't really about other, it's really what is reflected within. So we will see what the energies show for you, Taurus, whatever collective shows up. And also I do offer private and personal readings, so you can reach out to me directly on Facebook or on YouTube, and my email is in the description box as well. If you want to follow me on Facebook, I post a lot of supportive content, growth and insight, spiritual development insight, a lot about fear, because that is our primary block is here. And the solution to our ultimate abundance is to be in a state of love, starting with self. So, I'm just checking because, you know what, a lot of my readings have come up with all reversals for the sign that I'm working with and the energy of. And I'm just like, you know what, let me check before I start Taurus, make sure the whole deck isn't somehow in a position of reversal. Alright, Taurus, what is in your love energy, please? Ooh, there's something slow, obviously. There's a caution, hesitancy. Yeah, there may be a fear because of... Let's find out. What's in the love energy for Taurus, please? Queen of Wands. It actually came out sideways, but I'm not going to read it that way. Here I am. It's in process. Alright, inner. You see, I've never had one of these cards come sideways before or been guided to keep it so. So we'll see how that works out. I'm going to certainly pick up on this. What is in fear energy for Taurus, please? This is being very eerily clear. What is in the outer energy, please? Outer. And what is balancing energy, please? Pimples and wands, so that's obviously your energy for Earth energy. Oh, it doesn't feel right. Balancing energy for Taurus, please. Alright. Swords. Alright, we're going to look at the connecting between these, and then we will start digging into your person. I've discovered that when doing these paired readings, doing one at a time, there's so much crossover. I know some readers will look at you and then they'll look at your person and then they'll see what the connecting energy. For me, everything sort of flows and melds together, so doing them one at a time in the context of picking up the energy. I know. Sometimes, especially if there's some kind of divine connection or something that's divinely guided, there's sort of a break in the energy to separate it. Oneness between lover and inner peace. Inner and fear. Ooh. Wow, Taurus. Talk about divine intervention. Between fear and outer. Fear and outer, please. Connecting energy between fear and outer. Fear and outer. Two. Interesting. This is a very strange reading, guys. Outer and love energy, please. All right, now on to whatever is going on with this other energy, if there is one. What is the overall energy for whoever or whatever situation Taurus is connecting with? What is the other energy for Taurus that is being connected with? The other energy, and the overall energy of the other projections. It's coming up a lot. Projections. You know what? I haven't had to do this either. Isolation. Well, that's definitely confirmation. for this situation or person that Taurus is connecting with. I'm going to look at the love energy. And the love energy of the person or situation that Taurus is connecting with, please. Taurus, I may need to spend a minute with yours. I mean, you're clearly here with these pentacles. Certainly what I've befuddled is this Cancer Aquarius card, which is the Chariot and the Star. So that could be who or what you're connecting with, but there's also Leo here. So maybe those are part in your charts. Started out very clear and some things came in and kind of confused it a little bit. Well, as a reader, so I'm going to have to actually get into that energy. For the person or situation that Taurus is connecting with, what is in their love energy, please? What is in the love energy for who or what Taurus is connecting with? What is the love energy, please? Okay. What is in the inner energy? Wow. I'm definitely going to need to spend a minute with this, guys. Let's see what plays out at the end of it. This is way too much like the previous reading, Taurus. Yeah. I've seen some of the same cards, which means I gotta be pulling the same group. Fear of the situation or person. With these cards, I'm feeling like this is a person, a situation with a person. The outer energy of this person. And the balancing energy of this person. I am not liking the energy of this connection. Okay, let's see. The balancing energy, please. heavy, but it's not as bad as this first comment for us. Connecting energy between love and inner. Please. Connecting energy between love and inner. Sorry guys, I'm kind of just picking up on the various things going on because you have a lot going on with yourself. And then there is wow. That's how. Between inner and fear. Inner and fear. Fear and outer. Fear and outer. 2. This is a heavy read, guys. I'm actually having to take time to process the energy and wow. Outer and love energy. Yeah, we kind of figured that. Okay, so this is a masculine, by the way, this other person, which would, you know, Taurus, you could be male or female. Basically, this is a male, and definitely a masculine energy is what I'm getting. So what Taurus is qualified man with woman. That explains a lot. One more for the connecting energy between. I think so. Oh, all right, Taurus. Start with you. And your love energy is the Queen of Wands sideways. So you could have fire sign, Leo, most likely in somewhere in your chart. This is about self-awareness and self-discovery and self-love and balance within. So it feels like there's probably a energy between the outer and the love is island. Foreign affairs, solo, isolation, standoffish, separation, estranged, lonely, spread out. In between the Queen of Wands, which is your love energy, and the inner is soulmate, twin flame, the one, a pair of things, blooming love, faith, deep soul connection. These are completely opposite. Which explains why the Queen of Wands would be sideways. Because there's kind of a going back and forth. And it could be a process of inner self-discovery still that is being worked on. So it kind of transitions between, you know, wanting, desiring, believing in this oneness, in this soul connection. Is it with this other person? Hard to say. You know, you may believe that this connection is a soulmate. It may be something that you're waiting, looking for. It could be something that you need to discover within. There's a lot of different scenarios and energies being picked up just in these 3 cards. So we're going to keep on and see if it... Well, your inner energy is in balance. Giving, giving and receiving, accepting and receiving. There is a sense of you're not good enough. You aren't being treated equally and fairly. And I feel like you're keeping that within. It may be that you don't know why. It may be that Pentacles being earth energy, being the external, that I kind of feel like you're staying quiet about this to maintain this external connection with what seems like is stable. But this is how you really feel inside, is that things aren't stable, things aren't balanced, things aren't equal, that there's something else taking from you what you feel like should be yours. And could it be money, it could be job related, it could be position, it could be anything. But in some way, you are feeling like you are not being treated equally and that you are being treated as less than. Fate, karma. I feel like this is a karmic situation. Like there are lessons here, very deep lessons. And this trust thing that's having fallen so many times, and trust. I really feel like this is actually very connected, especially with all the red, to this Queen of Swords, this Queen of Wands energy sideways. Like this desire to be in your own power, to be connected with yourself, but you don't really feel it. Like you recognize that that's where you want to be, should be for your greatest good, but you're not there. So, and that's one of the reasons I feel like this is karmic, because this is a choice to stay in these energies. And there's a fear. Your fear is starting over, starting from scratch. And I think that's what's putting you, because you aren't being true and loving towards yourself. You don't actually know what you want. Or you're afraid to get what you want, to get what you deserve. You know, you definitely make it look like you're putting in all the work externally, but you still feel like things are imbalanced internally. And the balancing card is the Emperor. Now, I think in Taurus, for the last reading, that was a controlling energy. In this one, for you specifically, this is about you finding your power. This is about you taking control of your life and making the decisions that you need to make to not be afraid of new beginnings, to allow yourself to recognize and acknowledge your own power within and your self-love, to not think that this is what's occurring in your experience, and to not pretend like it's something that it isn't. You're making it look like you're working hard and developing something, investing your time and energy and effort for an outcome that is worthy, worthwhile, worth investing in. So between the work, which is your outer expression, and the Ace of Wands, which is your fear, there is the Star and the Chariot. So there is this desire, these dreams that you want to move toward. Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. It is moving forward with speed and with drive and with desire, and it is in your fear energy, along with the Star and the Chariot. Now, could it be that in some way you are interacting with a Cancer or Aquarius? Sure. Absolutely. But with the rest of the energies, I feel like the major arcana are more accurate. That's actually the energy that I'm getting, is you're giving this appearance, but that's not the energy you're actually in. This is the energy you're afraid to move into, with certainty and with strength and with power and with self-assurance, which is everything the Emperor is saying to engage. But you're not trusting the process. You're not trusting yourself. You're not trusting your intuition. And chances are this may be a story you are telling yourself. Because it is between this sideways Queen of Wands and this imbalance that you're feeling, this unfairness within. Or a pair of things, faith. The other group I'm picking up is that there is available twin flame, if that's the label you want to use, soulmate, someone that you feel very deeply so connected and bound to. but you haven't decided whether or not to move towards it, even though your current situation is imbalanced, unfair. You're not getting equal treatment, which then makes this fear between thought and fear very karmic, rather than being something fated and destiny. Or when we deny and reject our fate and our destiny as laid out by the universe, what we end up with is a karmic situation. Lessons that have to be learned in order to give us the strength and the power and the willingness to move into and accept and receive the gift of our destiny, of our fate, of our gifts. Pardon me. You guys aren't being honest with yourself. I think you know this. I mean, these four energies, soulmate, fate, the star, the chariot, and the emperor, ace of wands, all of these indicate an extremely powerful connection with someone maybe you are supposed to be with, someone you are supposed to find partnership with. Yet, it does appear that there is a partnership with this energy instead. And what's funny is, what I'm saying is you both have the same situation. There is a divine connection for both of you, but it is not with each other. And yet you are staying in this situation out of fear. Taurus, for you, it's a fear of going after what you actually want. For what reason? Because you haven't recognized your worth and value. You haven't decided that you love yourself enough to move toward this. For this person, it's a fear of letting go of their perceived stability, holding on to the material, and they're afraid of losing. They're afraid of losing this same perception of work and stability and this connection, and it is showing as a marriage. And here's the Emperor again, between the devil and the fear, the inner energy and the fear. The Emperor is here and the Emperor is here. So this is 3 cards: Aquarius, Cancer, Aries. And depending on the reader, devil or death could be interpreted as Scorpio. But I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing the major arcanas. So this, I feel like this is moving away from this energy and finding your own within. And maybe you're leaning too heavily on this person, or this person's leaning too heavily on you to find and sustain this Emperor energy. And there is a fear of losing that sense of power, of value. It's externally driven, it's ego driven, because they're actually a very insecure person within themselves. They're very ego driven, meaning a lot of fear and insecurity and self-doubt and uncertainty And I feel like they are holding on to what is outside of them because they are afraid to face these things within themselves, the projections and the isolation. The isolation is about emotional blocking. Projection is taking that pain and fear and putting it on others. And maybe the reason that you are uncertain of your worth and value and your self-love and you are afraid to move forward is maybe this person's energy is making you doubt yourself. And you aren't going to discover this or this or this until this is fully upright and you move out of this and you trust the process, you trust yourself, you trust your intuition, and you trust the guidance, what is within, rather than pretending something is worth your time and energy and knowing it isn't. This person also has another person or interest or attraction that may also be ego-based. They've emotionally, in their love energy, they've emotionally walked away from this connection, I feel like. Or they are not emotionally connected. Actually, yeah, they are not emotionally connected. Which is pretty bad with this being in their love energy. It may be they have the desire to walk away too, in truth, in their heart. But there's this fear of doing that. So this is the Four of Pentacles followed by the Three of Pentacles. So we have a progression here. And Pentacles, guess what? That's Taurus energy, also Earth energy. I don't feel like this person's a Taurus though. I feel like they may be one of these other energies. I don't feel like this person is Taurus. A Taurus and Taurus probably would not work out so well either. But there's this marriage intact because of this fear. The marriage is what is balancing them. This is the first energy where the balancing card is what is and not what is guided. This is what's holding all this in place, is this connection here. In concrete, real life reality, in their external energy. Knight of Wands, which is really wanting to bring in an offer quickly. In between this Eight of Cups and the love energy and the Knight of Wands is, man, you are acquiring a person you know, boyfriend, fiance, love interest. I feel like that's just identifying this as being a male and then clarifying the man as woman. So the external is a movement towards a different union, I feel like. And this union, so one of the reasons that there is this emotional blockade, maybe these projections, this kind of toxic in this relationship energy, unconditional love, legendary divine union, eternal love, infinity, love of a lifetime. If that were really what was going on for you, Taurus, there would not be this. There would not be fear of moving into your dreams, into your desires, into your wish fulfillment, into everything you actually want for yourself. There would be no hesitation. You would be empowered already to do that. You would be the king or queen. You would be the ruler of all that is within and without. That's not the energy that's coming through. Again, here's that Emperor energy. So they are holding on to this perception, this illusion of being in this Emperor position, of being, I feel like they're kind of hiding from themselves. You know, this projection and isolation kind of imply that in between their fear and the external, established ambition, experience, development, achievement, longevity, mature sexuality. I think that speaks directly to this connection, that there's a holding on because there is this established thing here that holds their ego and their fears, holds their ego intact, keeps their fears at bay, keeps them in a sense of being strong and powerful. And there may be a tower event that's getting ready to occur, or maybe several. Maybe it could be there's a lot of towers that have occurred in this connection because it's holding them hostage. They're holding themselves hostage by choosing to stay in this energy right here. They're holding themselves hostage. They are staying in this ego-based fear, control, these illusions, and there is what is really there for them is another connection that there's a desire to move towards, but these fears and the sense of stability here is keeping them in place. And it's not to say, Taurus, that this person doesn't care about you. That is not at all to say that they don't care about you. It's just, it's not the truth of their heart and their soul. And it's not the truth of your heart and your soul to stay in this connection either. You're not going after your own dreams and wish fulfillment. You aren't certain of who you are or what you want, even. And there's a drive, there's a desire to know who you are. There's a feeling that there is something more out there for you. Soulmate, deep soul connection, the one, passionate new beginning, the star, the chariot, being as the emperor. And yet what you're in is a sense of isolation and aloneness because you're hiding this feeling of unfairness and inequality behind this mask which is not a whole lot better than this. That's the same thing as this devil energy, but you've got some awareness because Queen of Wands came out sideways. So you're starting to look at this. You're starting to actually look at this. And it's scary. And it feels lonely. And you are not sure where to go or who to turn to. Because you may not have everything you need within yourself developed yet. But there is guidance and support and help. You see this person, they aren't doing this whole trapeze act by themselves. There is support to trust and turn to. You do have to use some discernment. You know, maybe it's your best friend, a therapist, a family member, but there are people there to support and guide you. And of course, there's always the divine, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, that is there to support and guide you. You are not actually alone, ever. It may feel that way, but you're not. There's a lot of people that go through these types of difficulties, challenges, confusing. And the thing is, once we discover our self-love within, and you are actually looking at that, our inner power really starts to grow and develop. And the fear of going after what we actually want and desire the most starts to dissolve. And many times when this happens, other connections we start to see truly for the first time. These types of energies, this closed offness. I mean, isolation is pretty much, it is that emotional freezing. It is that emotional disconnect and detachment. And somebody's holding back their emotions, which is that Eight of Cups in the love energy. There is, again, a disconnect. And that disconnect is probably putting some things on you that maybe aren't there. And maybe that's a reason you were feeling a little distrusting and a little disempowered. But you are starting to examine that. And this person they just have their own insecurities. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And maybe, you know, one of the reasons they are holding on to these energies here in order to carry the perception is their insecurities are sufficient enough that they are not moving towards their own true desires either. But they aren't looking at it. It looks like their decision is going to stay right where it is, at least for now. You know, the Tower was with, what was it with? Upheaval, energy, aggression, survival, instinct, sudden change, action. Yeah, I feel like their primary drive is to maintain stability with you, but there's a passion or a desire for something else, and it's gonna take a destruction by something outside of them to get them out of this energy, because I don't think they're gonna do it. And maybe that's gonna be when you get from this looking at into the experience of, and choose to take the actions that are most empowering for you. Whether that's stay or go, only you will know that. But I think that's the only thing, is if you recognize what your power is within and start taking your power back, because they were holding on to your power in order to gain that sense of value and worth within and be the emperor. But the problem is, they don't actually have the emperor energy with them right now. You do. So they're kind of leeching it off you in that ego space. So, Taurus, it looks like you may have a potential long-term relationship, marriage, that I'm not necessarily going to say that it needs to be walked away from. But I do feel like there's, when you discover your power, your own true inner sense of love and confidence and certainty and drive and the passion you want to pursue, my suspicion is you will want to walk away. Because this person's not going to go with you. They aren't ready. They have their own work to do, which is, by the looks of it, going to take significantly more than where you're currently at. So I don't feel like necessarily that you're quite ready to walk away, because this self-love, self-recognition, this connection with your own power and your own divinity and femininity, you know, it's kind of an in process. Like this part of your development is just beginning. So you need to be fully in the upright in order for the rest of it to come into fruition. And I do feel like you will walk away from this situation once that happens. And once you start to see, it might still take a little while, some courage and some development, but I'm very much getting that you will recognize things for what they are, that they're not in your highest and greatest good. It's not kind and loving to yourself, and that it will be in your best interest mentally, emotionally, psychologically, energetically to pursue your dreams independent of this relationship, and allow them the experience that's needed for their development. And do know that when we walk away from relationships because we have done our work within, there is no reason to feel guilty or ashamed or to be placed in a position of guilt or shame, because the truth is, we are not only serving in the highest and greatest good for ourselves, we are also serving in the highest and greatest good of the other party. It may not feel that way. That would be ego. Because ultimately, sometimes some people require some harder lessons in order to move more into their own space of self-empowerment and self-love, which is what all of these connections are about. Some people can discover this with, you know, this type of double energy, ego energy, and still find that fulfillment. I don't know how, but some people do. So I'm not going to say that you will absolutely walk away or that you should or ought to. You will know, because by then you will be connected with your sense of self-trust and inner guidance sufficiently to know what action is in your highest and greatest good, rather than guessing or feeling undermined or disempowered in any way. So, you know, there's still some work before you get to that point of decision making. oracle card. I think I stated at the, I'm trying to remember, I stated at the beginning of the reading that I do read from the book. Everybody's energy has been pulling from Sacred Rebels, so I'm just sticking with that. And I read from the book because it is, everybody might get some different nuance, something may resonate more than something else. So I don't like to interpret the oracle cards. The messages are just too powerful and too direct and too personal. And I forgot to leave the cards out, darn it. Because they do line up with the readings. For Taurus, readings for Taurus in this situation. For you guys. Now, being a drop reader, I don't typically draw cards, but that seems to be the order of the day for these readings. So, I drop read even oracle cards, except for today, apparently. No, that didn't work this time, guys. No. That's a longer read. You got it. They are telling me with a different group of... And the reason I didn't pull these to begin with is because these are much longer descriptions. These are already very long reads, so I don't like to take up people's too much time. Eventually I'll learn how to shorten these a little bit and still be... maybe not. Maybe the message not to, it'll be what it'll be. Taurus situation. Oh, we're not doing two universe. Pick one. Not reading both universe. They're too long. They are. You guys would be here for another half an hour. I have now pulled one before, so I'm just going to skim that. I have gotten the Passion of the Wild Red Mother before. Yeah, I think this is very resonating of where you are with yourself. Passion of the Wild Red Mother is also relevant, but really these are very long. So this is the one card. And to any reader, I highly recommend these oracles, and I do recommend reading them. So one for Taurus. I have abolished duality for myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. one I seek, one I know, one I see, one I call. So these are like poems from Rumi. And then there's, I don't know if you guys can see if it's focusing right. There's like an italicized section, which is also from Rumi, and the description analysis is for the card itself. You look for me, and what do you see? You. Am I playing games with you? Holding up a mirror for you to behold God. Yes, there are games of love and truth. These are games of love and truth. Look for me and find yourself, for I am you and you are me, and together we are one, playing hide and seek in love's great playground. This is all about the self. Like molten gold poured from the furnace of divine love into a one-of-a-kind mold, you are created uniquely and of a divine essence. You are both the lover and the beloved. There is no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey, and there is no aspect of you that is not of divine origin. That would have been that soul connection and fate card. So then, why the frowning, the fear, or the questioning? That would be that Ace of Reverse, or the Ace of Wands in reverse, and yourself sideways. Let me share a sublime secret with you. Let me whisper it into your heart. There is nothing to fear. All is unfolding according to the divine genius, and there is a sweet shift in store for you. No matter how dire circumstances may appear or be despairing or to be, may appear to be or despairing, you may feel that would be that Six of Pentacles and that illusion that you're presenting externally, and that aloneness. And then, of course, there's your person over here and all that double energy, that ego, that external drive that's not connecting themselves within. That would be that despairing you may feel. There is still an avenue through which fulfillment and resolution will be granted. This will happen. That would be that fate card. That is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. Queen of Wands sideways. That means anything and every part of existence, and that includes you and all aspects of your being in life. All aspects of your being in life would be that Emperor card, is claimed by the divine. Your return to the divine is demanded. Every part of you, every life circumstances, the divine keeps rigorous, flawless accounts, and therefore nothing shall be left unaccounted for. Not even that which seems to be outside the divine attention and grace at this moment. You must remember that you are a living heart, the dweller at the center between heaven and earth. Star and soil, that would be the star with the Chariot card, that passionate new beginning, that Ace of Wands, following your dreams, your destiny, your passion. Star and soil, light and dark. If you cannot summon the joy to rise up to meet the divine, beloved, fear not. That cunning lover lies deep within the depths, waiting to gather you into the sacred embrace as you descend into darkness. Either through flying or falling. Oh my gosh, I already shuffled. I did. I already shuffled. The tone card. The trapeze. Trapeze. There it is. Fatality. Flying or falling. Either through flying or falling, you shall be caught and tangled up in the divine embrace. So fear not, cast aside worry and concern. Know that you are thoroughly itemized on the divine ledger, and not one moment of your struggle or suffering shall miss the hawk-like gaze of the ever-attentive and heavenly beloved. This oracle comes to you with particular guidance. There is a friction or conflict within you or your life right now, and sense perhaps of being pulled in more than one direction and confusion because of this. That appearance of putting in the work and the imbalance, that confusion about yourself, the fear of moving forward, the Emperor energy right in the middle. Conflict between isolation and divine connection. You are questioning which path to take, this way or that. What if you choose this path and it turns out the other would have been better? But how can you know now what choice, if any, is most needed in your life? Which is why these readings exist, to help you with that. So many questions, your mind is scurrying. There is no other word for it. Backwards and forwards it goes, to and fro, trying to settle upon the truth. I love you too much to allow this continue unchecked. Surrender it. Give it up. The truth you seek is this: you shall be. You shall manifest your destiny just as the acorn grows into the oak tree. You cannot be other than what you are, and as you accept this, life responds. You're looking at it. Queen of Wands came out sideways for a reason, which I don't put these cards out sideways. In your reading, I was guided to put that out sideways. It breathes and relaxes around you so that what you need can come to you more easily. It finds you drawn to the need in you that is natural and inviting, that star, and not a cause for anxiety or distress. The need leads to satisfaction. Yeah. What is desired and what fulfills that desire is one, the star card, the Ace of Wands. They are lovers that come to each other naturally, that divine connection, the two swans. We come to each other naturally, even through darkness and confusion, drawn to each other, following the natural course of the universe to become one. Wheel of Fortune, fate. So do not fret and fear, my beloved. Do not hold back from that which feels incomplete out of anxiety or distress. It is just the lover that will soon be joined by the beloved. You are recognizing the moment before this occurs, Queen of Wands sideways, so fret not, and instead let that inner lover loose. Allow her to take out her hair, put on her most sensuous perfume, and laugh as she dances barefoot in the fields of lush grass and fragrant flowers. Let her tempt her beloved to come close, because she can be seen, she can be heard. Her movement sends her scent through the air. She entices the yearning beloved to her. And soon enough they meet, and it becomes possible for, yet again, two to become one. And there will be wild peace and ecstatic contentment within you. That 2, 2, and 1, they aren't talking about an actual lover. This is the love and the beloved within. Your passion for yourself. Your love for yourself. The resolution of the inner conflict. The trust that is needed with you. Guided by and protected by the divine. if there is any part of you struggling to surrender the conflict between old and new, see? Sideways. Between what has been and what needs to be, between passion, Ace of Wands, and duty, the Eight of Pentacles, and the external. Creativity and rationality, between this role or identity, then know this, even conflict serves. Don't choose either one and believe it is the answer. Sometimes the sacrifice is not one or the other, but the idea that it can only be one or the other. That's what I said. Come into yourself first. At another level, a level of divine resolution. There is beyond the apparent polarity and conflict a third way, the rising up to where there's only one perfection taking place constantly. Open your heart. You'll find the bridge to understanding and trusting in that perfection there, where it has always been and will always be. Don't worry, all is happening exactly as it should. This oracle brings you particular guidance. There is a resolution and a perfect coming together of elements in your life that might have seemed disparate or in conflict. The Six of Pentacles. Something you've been trying to integrate is so very nearly ready to click into place. Perform the sacred honoring ritual and stay with your process. Stay with your process. The coherence, the integration, the balance, and coming together you seek is on the horizon, approaching you swiftly now. Ace of Wands. Sacred honoring ritual. Place your hands at your heart and say aloud, Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, I gaze into my heart, and you are there. I gaze into your heart and see my own face. We are one. This oneness is contagious. May it swiftly affect every aspect of my inner world. My inner world. So that my outer existence aligns gently and perfect harmony with the great divine beloved. That would be that emperor, the balance. You and I are one with the perfection of divinity unfolding, now and always, through grace and my own free will, choice. Love or fear, choice. When you are ready, place your hands in prayer position and bow your head. In reverence and recognition to the one divine plan unfolding, say, I surrender into the one truth of divine perfection, which includes my own divine destiny now. Through mercy and grace, so be it. So whatever happens with your connection, Taurus, this is not really about them. You may be allowing them to disempower, but you can choose not to do that. Might take some lessons, might take some work, might take some development, but you can choose to create that balance and that love and that compassion within, regardless of whether it's shown to you, regardless of what they were doing, regardless of the relationship or the nature or what their issues are. Those are their lessons. That's their karma. That is their, even if you are married to them, living with them, have a family with them. Your first priority is you. Because without you, that connection doesn't exist. So that's first and foremost. Is to gain that divine connection with yourself first. Get that queen of Wands, upright, because you are worthy and you are connected with the divine, as we all are. It's just recognition and allowance. One. In totality. Good luck, Taurus. And I'll see you next time.